Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Good morning, and what a morning it is. Of course, the morning after England have secured their place in the Euros finals. So I'm sure there's quite a lot of sore heads out there. Fortunately for me, I was actually at work, and I did manage to watch the game whilst at work, but that means that I couldn't have a drink with it and celebrate properly. So I'm very fresh this morning, fresh-headed to absorb the news that Sunderland have signed officially Alan Browne. Now, we did speak about this in the video the other day, but I will revisit a couple of things that I did mention and my thoughts on the signing, because of course it didn't actually happen the other day. It was just all rumours. But for me, I think this is an absolutely excellent signing and a great start to the window. Of course, we got the goalkeeper. We brought him in to sort of compete and give Pato a bit of competition, so that sort of sealed off, which is what we needed anyway. But then, of course, one of the biggest things we did need was to replace a Corey Evans type figure, not just with experience, but with leadership ability. You know, with someone like Alan Browne, he's been at Preston for the best part of 10 years, and the majority of that has been played in the Championship. Of course, he did get them promoted from League One. I think it was 2015, League One, to the Championship, so he has had success there as well, and spent a lot of time in the Championship and on an international scale as well. He's been there with the Republic of Ireland, so he's got loads of experience, and at the age of 29 as well, I think in the context of our squad, it looks like he's quite old and almost past it, because we're so used to seeing players come in at like 19, 20 years of age. But 29 years of age, he's in his prime at the moment. He's just come off the back of a player of the season, winning season with Preston. It's highly thought of there, and he's a very, very good player. Now, in terms of what kind of player he is, now, of course, I was kind of putting him down as more of a box-to-box midfielder in my eyes, and that's the way I would look at him. But, of course, I have seen, since the rumours speculating, the rumours started going around on social media, I've been looking at and speaking with a few more Preston fans, because although I feel like I've seen enough of him to make a bit of a judgment, of course, I'm not going to have anywhere near as much knowledge or as close-up knowledge as a Preston fan who watch him week in, week out, because I'm just, why would I do that? Now, according to a lot of Preston fans, it's a sort of similar sort of vibe that I'm getting from them. Essentially, they prefer him in a more further forward role. Not necessarily starting as a number 10, but at least being in the centre and being allowed the freedom of going forward, because he's good at arriving late in the box, popping up with goals here and there. And basically, he's a lot better the further forward he pushes up. And from some Preston fans, it sort of gets worse the deeper he drops. Not necessarily saying he's poor at doing the job, and a lot of Preston fans have said that he can absolutely be a box-to-box midfielder, but he's a lot better going further forward. And that's not to say that he's poor at defending, but his better abilities and his skills are better suited to someone who gets to break forward, which, again, that isn't a bad thing at all. And I've just listened to his and watched his first interview as well, and the way he talks, he isn't coming here just to give off a bit of experience and have that leadership ability. He thoroughly wants to improve and keep on going, because, again, he's not 35 years of age and just coming in to give the lads a bit of advice in the changing room. He wants to play, and he absolutely has the ability to do so. And he's already said, his goal is to try and get the club back to the Premier League, and he wants to be a part of that. And I think a lot of us could look down on it because we're so used to seeing such young players being 20, 21 years of age. The highest age we usually get is like a 24, 25-year-old. So for a 29-year-old coming in, it does seem like it's a bit past it, but really it isn't. He should absolutely be in his prime. And to get that on a free is an absolutely belting signing. And can I just say, by the way, I just want to get this one out of the way. I've seen quite a few comments recently on different videos, not just mine, but whenever we do discuss a free agent, everyone just says, oh, it's another free player, it's cheap, it's this and that and the other. Firstly, getting a player of that ability on a free, how could that possibly be seen as a negative? Strange take. But either way, can we just get this out there? A free agent doesn't necessarily mean you are paying nothing at all to the player. Apparently, he's had to take a bit of a wage cut from Preston, firstly, but that doesn't mean the club haven't had to pay over the odds to the agent of the player. Because what tends to happen, and I've watched plenty of podcasts of sort of former players and stuff like that, very informational podcasts, where essentially, what an agent of a player who is no longer with the club will do is, because they know that the club, after their player, doesn't have to pay a transfer fee, they will essentially demand a stupid amount in agents' fees, almost the equivalent to a fee that they would have to pay a club to buy him anyway. So don't think that just because he is a free agent that we haven't had to pay anything for him. The agent would have absolutely hiked up his price tenfold just to get his signature. Do you know what I mean? So this whole stupid, oh, it's another free agent, oh, it's another cheap one, like, so what? I mean, I swear, with some of our fans, we could sign Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi on a free, and they're like, oh, it's another cheap option, oh, it's another free one, this is shit, just because we haven't paid a fee. Do you know what I mean? Would you like to buy someone shit and be like, oh, we paid $5 million for him? Oh, well, we paid $5 million for him, yes! Like, let's celebrate. It's such a weird take. I get the balance of wanting to spend money, but when it's someone of his ilk, and we get him on a free, how anyone could possibly moan about it is fucking incomprehensible. Is that a word? I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, away from that, I just had to get that out of my system because I keep on seeing these and it does my nutting when I see that so much. But anyway, we'll have a look at the statement from the club regarding the signing of Alan Browne. So Sunderland AFC is delighted to announce the signing of Republic of Ireland international Alan Browne. The versatile midfielder left Preston North End last month after being named the Whites 2023-24 Player of the Season, and he puts pen to paper on a 3-year contract at the Stadium of Light. He arrives on Wayside with a wealth of EFL Championship experience under his belt after making over 400 appearances and scoring 46 goals during a 10-year stay at Deepdale. Browne said, it's a big change for me after being at Preston for such a long time, but it's brilliant to be here. Sunderland is one of the biggest clubs in England and I can't wait to get started. I captained Preston for some time, so hopefully I can bring those leadership qualities to the Stadium of Light and add to what is a very talented squad. Christian Speakman added, Alan is a dynamic and versatile midfielder who will complement the players within our squad and bring fresh qualities to our midfield. His availability is something we have closely followed throughout the last 8 months, and his ambition was at the forefront of our discussions. He believes he can fulfil those ambitions at Sunderland, and after seeing our potential, he wants to play an important role in creating future success. We are delighted to welcome him to the club. Browne was part of the Preston side that secured promotion to the second tier in 2015, and he has continued to ever present, with his leadership qualities also seeing him named PNE captain ahead of the 2020-21 season. Born in Cork, the 29-year-old has earned 35 caps for his country since making his international debut in 2017, and he has scored for his first competitive goal for his nation in 2021 against Serbia. Welcome to Wayside, Alan. Now, I'm sure I can join the club in saying welcome to Alan Browne. Sorry, welcome to the club, Alan Browne as well. Because again, and I can't reiterate enough, I think that is an absolutely fantastic piece of business. I just can't find a fault in that. I'm sure someone in the comments will find one, but I think that is a very, very good start and is a very, very valuable signing. Because I know I've seen some people say, do we need any more midfielders? But if you think in the centre of midfield now, all we really have is Dhannoo and Ekwah. Because Chris Rigg, I'm presuming, will be pushed further forward. Job will likely be pushed further forward. Yes, we like to think that he can push in or sit in a centre midfield role, but Job is always better going forward. They might even try and mould him into a striker this season. You don't know with the goals he put away when we did force him as a striker last season. But other than that, all there is Dhannoo and Ekwah. And then, of course, you've got Matete and you've got Embleton, who can maybe play in the centre as well. But you'd think that they're probably going to get moved on, pushed on a little bit. We might see a bit in pre-season. And is that the right goal? Probably. You know, I'd like Embleton for years if you're on the channel with Embleton. I've always said the same thing. I think he brings value to any side with being both-footed, set pieces, great delivery, and he can pop up with a goal. But his injury record is just horrific, sadly. And I think it's really hampered what could have been an outstanding football player. So it probably is the right time to move Embleton on. And Matete, I think every now and then when we did see him in bit pieces, thought he was all right one game and he was poor for another few. And everywhere he seems to go on loan, he seems to do okay, but it just hasn't worked with us. And I just don't think he has the ability, should I say, to move with Sunderland. So I think it's absolutely a purchase that was necessary, is what I'm saying with Alan Browne. And I don't think we're crowding out the midfield or centre midfield too much. But that's it, guys. What do you guys think of the signing of Alan Browne? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed, hit the like button for me and subscribe if you are new. There's still so many of you guys have not yet subscribed. Please click the subscribe button now. It takes 2 seconds and it makes me smile. But either way, take care, stay jammy.